Hi guys, Kelly Wright with Peace, Love, and Wellness, bringing you a beginner yoga flow. So if you'll find your way on your mat, we're gonna start on our backs. You will, for this practice, need a strap of some sort. So if you don't have a strap, if you have a towel that you can use at home, or even a scarf that is fairly long, and you'll need to have that near you. You're gonna find your way all the way down onto the mat. Root the shoulders into the ground. Feel the sit bones connecting into the floor below you. Feel where the heels are touching. Start to notice that breath. Soften the back of the head to the floor. Relax and soften the jaw. Begin to lengthen the breath, sending the breath all the way down into the belly. One more nice big breath here. Feeling the body soften even further into the floor as you exhale. If you'd like to take an intention for the practice, you're welcome to. Or maybe you just want to be aware that at any given moment, you get to choose your mindset. What have you chosen? Do you need to make adjustments? Good, and then we're going to start to draw that right heel up towards the body, bending the knee. We're going to keep the low back pressing into the floor, and even pulling the belly button in, pressing the mid back into the floor. And we're going to draw that knee up towards the chest. Now, if you can't reach the knee without lifting the shoulders up off of the mat or floor, go ahead and take your strap or towel and just hook it around the knee, pulling it up towards the chest. Finding a gentle opening through that front hip flexor. We're not going to be forceful here, just beginning to awaken the body. If it becomes available, go ahead and squeeze that knee closer to the chest. And if you want to point and flex that foot, circle out the ankle, switch direction. Good. We're going to release that grasp so it's not so tight, and we're just going to circle the knee. Again, moving in one direction a few times, and then we'll switch directions. Good, we're going to squeeze that knee back in nice and tight. If you can interlace the fingers around the shin, pulling that knee in. Using the strap is just fine as well. Big breath into the belly, exhale, find softness. Good, we're going to go ahead and release that clasp, and we're going to send the heel straight up to the ceiling, and we're going to really press out through the heel, finding length from the hip bone all the way down the leg as we slowly lower that leg down. Good. Take a nice big breath into the belly. Exhale, find softness, melting the body into the floor. We're going to find the tailbone pressing into the floor. Engage the belly, pressing the mid back into the floor, using the core engagement to pull the left knee up. Finding your strap around the knee or interlacing the fingers right underneath the kneecap, squeezing that knee in. Not being forceful, just allowing the body to slowly open up as it wants to. Shoulders still rooting into the floor, and we're just going to take a few breaths here. You can begin to point and flex the left foot. Good. Circle out the ankle. Switch direction. Good. We're going to release the clasp and we're just going to circle the knee around. Finding a little mobility in the hip space, switching direction. Good, and then we're going to pull that knee back towards the chest, seeing if we can bring it in any further, actively squeezing. Good, release the hands, extend the heel up to the ceiling, and again, finding length from that hip bone all the way up the leg, pressing that heel towards the back wall as we slowly lower it all the way down. Take a big breath into the belly. Exhale, soften the body into the floor. Beautiful. We're going to inhale our right arm up, and we're going to roll over onto our side, finding our way onto our hands and knees. Our fingertips are spread nice and wide. Our knees are under the hip bones, and we're going to take a cat-cow flow. We're going to drop the belly, lifting the tailbone, lifting the gaze, holding here for 2 breaths. On the next exhale, pull that navel up, tuck the pelvis, tuck the chin, gaze at the belly button. Hold here for 2 breaths. And then begin the flow. Connecting breath to movement the best you can. Returning to a neutral spine. We're going to bring our big toes together. The knees can stay where they're at, or you can walk them out wider than the hips. Tailbone sinks back, and we release the heart and forehead down to the floor. 2 deep breaths down into the belly. Exhale, find softness in the hips and shoulders. Inhale, lift the gaze. Come up onto the fingertips and walk them over to the right side. Positioning our torso over towards that right knee. We're then going to lower the torso down. Finding a stretch through that left side of the body from the hip bone all the way alongside the left side of the body up to the armpit. Breathe into that space. Inhale, lift the gaze, come back up onto those fingertips, and we're going to walk it over to the left side. Pulling the torso over towards that left knee, lowering down, releasing the head and neck to a comfortable position and finding those breaths. Breathing into the right side of the body from that hip connection all the way along the upper side of the body to the armpit. Good, lifting the gaze, coming up onto those fingertips, walking to center. We're gonna lift the tailbone, and we're going to drop the pelvis down as we come into our Sphinx pose. Lifting the heart, drawing the shoulders down. If you need to walk the elbows further out in front of you, you're welcome to. Relaxing the tops of the thighs. Relaxing the glutes, lifting the heart, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Breathing into the chest space. We're going to tuck the chin in slightly, and at the same time lifting the crown of the head. One more breath here. Good, we're gonna slowly lower the chest all the way down to the floor. Hands come to the outside of the body, roughly under the shoulders, pressing up, lifting the tailbone up and back. We're gonna take 3 sets of a cat-cow flow, moving at your own pace. Returning to a neutral spine. We're gonna find our way into a standing position, mountain pose at the top of the mat. You can step your way up, or you can come into a downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. Bend the knees and slowly begin to walk the feet up towards the top of the mat. Once you get there, you'll find a generous bend through the knees, rolling the torso up, arms up overhead, exhaling the hands to face the front of the room. Take a nice big breath in and exhale that breath down through the 4 corners of the feet. Inhale the arms up over the head. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Here we can stay at a flat back, or we can release the head, releasing any tension in the neck, hinging as far as we can go. Make sure that you're rooted into the 4 corners and that you're not sinking back into the heels. And take a few breaths here. Bend the knees. Engage the core as you slowly start to roll up. Begin to turn the palms forward as you lift the head. From here, we're just going to step our feet wide on our mat. The feet are out wider than the hips, and we're going to inhale the arms up into an exalted 4-point pose. Our fingertips are spread nice and wide. We're pressing into the outer blades of each foot. We're lifting that pelvic floor, pulling the navel in and up, and we're tucking the chin slightly, taking a few breaths here. On the next inhale, bring the arms up over the head, bring the palms together, and exhale them to heart center. Inhale the arms up. We're going to take the arms halfway down. Our right toes are going to point to the side wall, and we're going to bend into a warrior 2 position. Heel of the front arch. The heel is in line with the back arch. Arms come out, extended wide. You can work your way and extend your stance to bring the thigh completely parallel to the floor. The knee stays stacked over the ankle at all times. One more breath here. Straighten through that front leg. Bring those toes to face forward. Inhale the arms up. And then we're going to exhale, hinging at the hips, reaching for opposite elbows, letting the head and torso hang. Release the fingertips to the floor, find a flat back. The hands place underneath the shoulders. Create length through the spine from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Begin to take the right hand, walking it over just a little to find a twist. That left arm comes up. Draw that left hand to the floor. Let's walk it over towards the right side. Hands are still roughly under the shoulders. And we lift the right hand, finding a twist through the core, through the spine. Hips are still centered. Draw the right hand down. Walk those hands to center. Find length through the spine. Find a bend through the knee as you start to roll back up. Arms come up. Fingertips spread. Inhale the arms up, palms together. Exhale, heart center. Make sure you're not pinching the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, soften and relax those shoulders. Inhale those palms up over the head. Exhale the arms halfway down. Take the left toes and point them towards the side wall. Find a bend through that left knee as we come into warrior on the opposite side. Make sure that the core is engaged, the pelvis is tucked. We don't want the booty to stick out with an arched back. Tuck pelvis, belly in and up, shoulders drawing down away from the ears, fingertips extending in opposite directions. Find your breath. Straighten through that left leg. Bring the left toes forward. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, reaching for opposite elbows. Like gravity, draw the torso further down towards the floor as it's available. Breathe into the backs of the legs. Find ease as you exhale. You can release the hands down to the floor. And this time we're going to start to just walk the hands behind the legs as far as they'll go. Maybe they just come to the feet, that's all right. Make sure you're not holding any tension in the neck or head. It's completely relaxed. Begin to walk the hands out underneath the shoulders. Find a bend through the knees and roll all the way back up. Arms come up over the head. Exhale, heart center. We're going to find our way to the top of the mat again. And from here, we're going to find our way back onto the mat on our backs, hinging at the hips. Inhale, flat back. Find length. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you have to plant the hands, and then step the feet back. High plank position, hands are under shoulders, fingertips spread wide. Elbows spiraling in, Shoulder blades drawing down the back, belly button pulled in and up. Drop the knees down to the floor. Release the toes, keeping elbows hugged in, lower down. And come into a cobra or a sphinx pose. Lower all the way down, stack the hands, and release the forehead onto the hands. Inhale, lift the gaze, bring the hands under the shoulders and draw the tailbone up and back. From here, we're gonna walk the knees towards the wrists. We'll swing them out to one side or cross at the ankles, coming onto our seat, legs straight out in front. Arms come up over the head. Exhale, we hinge at the hips, reaching for a forward fold. 3 breaths here. Inhale, use the hands to walk the torso back up. We want to make sure that our strap is nearby. We're going to come all the way down onto our backs. You can just use your hands to walk yourself down. Our right knee is going to pull back up, squeezing that knee in. We're going to take our strap and we're going to lasso the ball of that foot. We send the heel up. Be sure that we don't lock out that knee. We have a micro bend or even a very generous bend in the knee. You can wrap the strap around the hands, and we're going to just start to pull the foot up towards the head, shoulders rooted in, and that left thigh, the back of the thigh is rooting into the floor. It's not just actively or passively doing whatever it wants. You're extending it in the opposite direction, thigh rooting down. If that's pretty intense on the lower back, you're always welcome to bend that opposite knee and pull the right foot towards the head. Find your breath, feel the stretch. Good, we're gonna take the straps in one hand, the right hand. The left arm comes out to the side, rooting that left shoulder into the ground. You can keep the leg bent, the left leg bent or extended straight. We're gonna drop the right leg out to the side, stopping where your body tells you to stop. The rest of the body is rooting into the ground. Slowly draw that leg back up in line with the hip socket. And we're just going to cross it over the body only as far as that left hip bone, not any further. And we're just going to take 2 breaths here. Bringing it back in line with that right hip joint. We're going to bend the knee and release the strap. Hugging the knee in. Extend the right heel up. Finding length all the way up through and out through that right heel as we slowly lower it down. Noticing the length in the right leg compared to the left. And then we're going to pull that right knee up towards the chest. We'll find our strap and lasso the ball of the left foot. Extending the leg, again being mindful we don't lock out the kneecap, but we have a micro bend or a generous bend. Shoulders are rooted into the ground, we're not rolling them up, and the right thigh is actively rooting into the ground. Or you can bend the knee, pulling the heel in for more support in the low back. Feel the stretch, find your breath. Good. Take the strap in the left hand, right arm comes out, that shoulder stays grounded as we lower the left foot out to the left side of the body. Again, those hip bones are rooting into the ground. The shoulders both are rooting into the ground. If our body starts to lift up, then we've taken it too far. On the next inhale, bring that leg back up in line with the left hip bone. And then if you want, you can just cross it over the body just a tad over to that right hip bone, no further. 2 breaths. Back to center. Bend the knee, release the strap. Give that knee a squeeze in towards the chest. Feel the difference from the first time you took this pose. Good, extend that left heel straight up. Find length all the way up. And continue to find length down the leg as you slowly lower the left foot down. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, soften the body into the floor. Take a moment to feel the effects of the practice. Draw the heels in towards the glutes. For our final bridge pose, we bring the arms actively down alongside the body. Knees stay in line with the hip bones. We don't let them sway out. And we press through the soles of the feet as we lift the hips up off the floor. The chin stays tucked towards the chest here. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths into the belly. You can squeeze the glutes for added support and lifting the hips. And then we're going to slowly lower the back all the way back down to the floor. Extend the right leg and then the left. It's time for final relaxation. You can flip the palms up. You're welcome to place one hand on the heart, one on the belly, whatever feels good to you. Softening the head and the shoulders, unclenching the teeth, relaxing the jaw. Taking a breath into the hip space, and as you exhale, letting the hips sink deep into the floor. Softening the right leg, starting with the upper thigh. Relaxing everything as you move all the way down the leg into the ankle and the foot. Moving to the left leg, starting at that hip space and softening all the way down the leg to the ankle and foot. Bringing your breath back to normal, allowing your body to breathe on its own and noticing how that is. You can pause the video here if you'd like and take as much time as you need. When you're done, you can find your way up onto your mat. And that was our beginner flow. Thank you for joining me. I hope this class served you. If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more. Like the video and share with anyone you might think would like it as well. Thanks.